Hi everyone, welcome. This is our geometry classroom. We are Miss Wagner and Mr. Blanchard, and we're going to be introducing you to some of our classroom policies and procedures. This is what we're going to be looking at today, and let's just jump right in. First thing that we're going to talk about is ourselves. I'm Miss Wagner. I have a bachelor's in math that I got from FDU. I have a master's in education from FDU as well, and I have a special education certificate from William Patterson. I am certified in K through 12, and this is my 6th year teaching. I am getting married this year in April, and I just bought my new house, so a lot of new exciting life things happening.
I'm Mr. Blanchard. I have my bachelor's in special education from TCNJ. I'm highly qualified in math and science. I received my master's from Montclair State in supervision. It's my 16th year in Rutherford. It's also my 16th year as a soccer coach. 6th year on the girls' side. I was on the boys' side for 10 years. I have 2 daughters, 3 and 9. My wife is also a teacher, and some of you may recognize the name because my sister-in-law is a teacher in the high school. My brother is a teacher in Union School, and actually our parents were teachers as well. So you could say it runs in the family, and you wouldn't be lying.
So moving on, we're going to talk about some of the expectations of our students that we have in our room. When we're in the classroom, we do expect that the students bring some materials to class. We require that they have paper to write on because we are going to be doing practice problems, and if they have nothing to write on, it's going to be very difficult for them to practice. So whether it's a binder or a notebook, it does not matter to us as long as they have something. And they also need a writing utensil. Doesn't matter what they're writing in, could be pen, pencil, marker, doesn't matter as long as they are able to write. We expect the students to be on time, whether you are in the class or at home. We respect everyone in our room and everything in our room, so everyone has to pay attention to everyone around them and make sure they are being respectful. And we do ask that there are no cell phones in class. Just make sure that they are paying attention and listening to the lesson. We also have a list of materials that we needed, and I covered a few. So we have pencil and a notebook or binder. We do ask that they bring a charged Chromebook because a lot of the assignments are being put onto our Chromebooks. They're being virtual or they're uploaded so the students can practice. So we do ask that they bring their Chromebook and possibly their charger if they might need it. And the last thing on that list is a TI-84 calculator. We recommend buying a TI-84 calculator. It is important for the math career of high school students and college students. This calculator you will use from this year throughout your entire high school and your college. And it's the one that you're allowed to use on SATs, ACTs, and we really teach your student how to use it so that it's an advantage to them for their test. So getting as much practice as possible with that would be very helpful for them.
This year, a little different than other years with the hybrid model and whatnot. We're ecstatic to be able to be in school with the students. Some of them are there half the time, some are fully remote. But with all the capabilities we have with the smart board and making it interactive, it really is beneficial that we can teach live every day. And we have been the last few days. We were given permission instead of every other, especially in a math class. It's so helpful for the students. And they've been great for us with just unmuting themselves and asking questions to help us to know that they're on task. We will be using a lot of these accounts, as Ms. Wegner said. Google Classroom is used in every class just for organizational purposes for them. And if they're ever out, they can find any information they missed. Khan Academy is a website many of you have probably heard of that we will use from time to time. The big two for us, though, will be IXL and Big Ideas. Big Ideas is an online textbook. We can assign problems that are exactly like ones we've done in class so that they can get practice. We can give them a certain amount of checks so that they can try the problem, and if they're unable to get it, maybe they were between 2 different ways to solve it. Now they try the second way, they get it correct, and they know, okay, for that problem, I have to set them equal to 180 without having to even reach out to us. Of course, we're available for help and whatnot, but it is helpful for them. As with IXL, they work at their own pace, And if they were to get something wrong, it'll give them a detailed answer. So instead of having to wait a day or 2 days to find out what they did wrong, they get that immediate feedback. And I think a lot of these things are going to be very beneficial for them, not only in high school, but as they move along in their educational career and get to college and they have to do more independently. Your children are going to be so much better prepared for that because they're already being exposed to it now.
The next thing that we want to talk about are just some policies that we want to make sure that you're aware. We have the absent policy, and that is if your student is absent, they have as many days as they were out to make up any missed work. Yes, we're going to try to be a little bit lenient with this because we do understand we might not see them and they might be missing so many classes. And with everything being virtual, we are very understanding. We just ask that they do reach out to us and inform us that they miss their work, they're catching up on it. If they could have a day, it would just be very helpful for us. And when they are out, if they miss an assignment, we are required to put a 0 into gradebook, and that 0 is just notifying that it's not in. If you look at gradebook, there might be a little M next to the 0, which means missing, and that means that they can still hand it in. It's still allowed to be handed in. It's just that they missed it on the day that they were out, and they should know how to access it. And as soon as they hand it in, if they email us, we can grade it and put in the appropriate grade. And the Chromebook policy is that you're supposed to be using your Chromebook in school. You're not supposed to be using a personal computer. So we just ask that they bring their Chromebook charged to class. And if they don't bring a charger with them, because we have so many plugs that they can use if it's dead, and we just want to make sure that they have all resources available to them at every time, especially in class.
Grading, we have a few different categories that students will be graded on. Homework is 15% of their grade. It's always going to be posted on Classroom. It's going to be mentioned in class, which everyone will hear since, as I said, we're going to be live Zooming. But in case they miss it, it'll be posted, a nice organizational tool, Google Classroom. We will not be able to allow late homework. Mainly because we're going to be going over it. So if we waited, then the student would have all the answers. They wouldn't get that practice. The main reason for giving the homework is so they can practice and get better with their skills. Some homework will be graded just for completion. Some will be graded for accuracy. We'll always make sure to let your children know which is which. Performance is really supposed to be a helpful grade for everyone. It's just 10% of their grade. Participation in class, some people talk more than others. That's fine. As long as you're involved, you're active in the discussion, you're not distracting anyone, you're on task. We're trying to give you those 10 points. And I have to say, students have been great so far. I can't think of anyone in any of my classes, not just this geometry class, that haven't really been on point and just happy to be in school and doing things. So that should be a little bit of a grade booster for them. Other categories that we have are quizzes and tests. This is by our department. We really don't have any say on the percentages, but I'll still go through them with you. 35% for quizzes, 40% for tests. Quizzes are usually every few sections, 2 or 3 sections or so. So in a normal chapter, we would have 2 or 3 quizzes because there are usually anywhere from 6 to 9 sections. At the end of each chapter, we have a test. They count for 40%. We will always give a review guide for a test. We'll always go over the review guide. Students will know what's expected of them, what kind of format the test will be. And really the whole goal is by the end of the unit for students to really understand the material. Even if they had a little trouble during the learning of each section, hopefully by the end it all comes together and they do well on the test. And then that brings to our last statement that we should go over.
So our last thing that we do want to talk about is extra help. With this year being a little crazy, we have some options for the students to receive extra help every single day, which is very useful. If the students need extra help and they are coming to school on this day, they are able to get extra help from me in room 113, which is our classroom, or from Mr. Blanchard in room 327, which is on the 3rd floor. They all got directions. They can come see us any morning. The only requirement is that they just email us and let us know that they're coming, because sometimes if I'm in the morning getting ready for a class and making a few photocopies, I might not be in the room when they're there. But if I know they're coming, I will make sure that I'm there. The other option that we have is an online Zoom, and this is available every single school day from 1:17 to 2:32. So the students can log on at any point. and get the extra help that they need. Again, one of the things that we do ask is that they just email us and let us know, because if there is another student on Zoom, we try to help the students one-on-one. So if they sign on and there's someone else already helping, they might be in the waiting room for a little bit. So if they just email us and let us know, we can schedule a time for them where they're going to get this help right away, and it's all one-on-one. So thank you for watching our presentation. We're really looking forward to working with you and your student this year.
Thank you guys so much. Please reach out if we can help in any way, and we really appreciate you taking the time to listen to us.